From my observation and from what I've heard from the community members, leaders, and the company, overall, this has been a very successful process and is really an example of what free, prior, and informed consent, what FPIC should look like. We know that FPIC is not an end state, but it's a process. It's something that has to happen over time. And that's one thing that the company really got right, that so many companies that I've worked with really struggle to understand, that it's about establishing a relationship and a way of discussing and reaching a mutual understanding and agreement with communities that have their own interests and their own rights. The Matumbak and the HTI have brought to this process a high level of organization, accountability, and skillful leadership. So it's, in my experience, highly unusual for the community to have its FPIC protocols written out. And I see this also as an important factor leading to the success of the project. I was deeply impressed by the leadership of the HTI and the active participation of the community members. The community seems to have a very clear process within itself of self-governance, and each person that I spoke to expressed a high level of confidence in their leaders and really an openness, and without reservation they can ask questions and really participate in the process. And each person I spoke to expressed some clear understanding of what was happening and what was the purpose of each meeting. Ensuring that women meaningfully participate in decisions and consultative processes having to do with private investment is critical to understanding and ensuring that land-related decisions result in positive outcomes for all the members of the community, not just the leaders, not just the men, but for everyone to really share in the benefit. And we know too that when women are included in decisions, not only are the benefits shared more equitably, but the projects themselves are often better designed and more effective. So it's very important, we know, to include women in the process. And from what we were able to observe, women were involved in this process. Around half of the participants in the community assemblies were women, and we know that the company specifically requested that women be invited. It was important to the company to make sure that women were there and that their voices were heard. And so they were invited to the meetings, and the company emphasized the importance of that participation. Clearly, women were not very involved in the leadership. The HTI is mostly men, and that's the way it is for now. But yes, I can say that women have been involved in the process. This is really the heart of the matter. What are the measures that need to be taken to make sure that after the transfer happens, the community is better off and the benefits that we're hoping to see really come about? So that's the big question, and it remains to be seen. We know that this is a new endeavor for the community. They haven't run a farm before. They haven't engaged in commercial agriculture in this way. They certainly seem to be taking it very seriously and are looking at it as a long-term investment potential. They see that it will be challenging, and they feel ready to meet those challenges. Really, MLR has done everything that they can to set the community up for success. And for its part, the community also is doing what it can to prepare. So we know the community has a well-organized leadership with a diverse set of skills to manage the asset, and that's very important. There are a lot of companies out there that are trying to abide by higher standards for how to interact with communities, trying to implement FPIC, trying to make sure that they are doing the right thing. And they're working to make sure that communities are supported and their rights are respected. I mean, there are a lot of companies also out there that are not doing these things, but it's true that increasingly the issue of indigenous rights is something that companies are looking at rather, and taking very seriously. But I can say that I have not encountered a company that has really approached its relationship with communities with such commitment, with so much sincerity and patience and care as MLR has. I've really seen this as a remarkable project or process, and I've been so impressed by the level of commitment that I've seen. I think this could be a model that could be replicated. I see that there's a lot of good examples that we can take from this process.